World Health Organization warned that at least 94% of the hospitals in the Gaza Strip were damaged or destroyed as a result of the aggressions of the Zionist regime. In the Democratic Republic of the Congo, the Senate decided to lift the immunity of former President Joseph Kabila, accused of supporting the rebel group M23 in the framework of the conflict affecting the east of the country. And Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro and the people of Caracas carried out Thursday a massive march to the national government headquarters at the Miraflores Palace to celebrate the closing of the campaign of the Great Simón Bolívar Patriotic Bold Coalition. Hello, welcome from the South. I'm Luis Alberto Matos from the teleSUR studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. Stay with us. The World Health Organization warned that at least 94% of the hospitals in the Gaza Strip were damaged or destroyed as a result of the aggressions of the Zionist regime of Israel. Only 19 of the 36 hospitals in the Gaza Strip are still functioning, of which 12 provide medical services, while the rest only provides basic emergency care. Currently, only 2,000 hospital beds are available for a population of more than 2 million people, which the organization described as extremely insufficient. All major hospitals were forced to suspend operations last week due to their proximity to combat areas. The World Health Organization has documented at least 1,521 attacks on health facilities in the occupied Palestinian territories. Also in Palestine, more than 9,000 children have been treated for malnutrition this year, according to the United Nations Children's Agency, and food security experts say tens of thousands of cases are expected in the coming year. Gaza's main hospital is overwhelmed with children in pain from malnutrition.
She is 2 years old. She weighs 7 kilograms. She suffers from severe malnutrition. She has celiac disease and chronic diarrhea. She has been suffering for it for a year. She needs diapers, soy milk, and she needs special food. This is not available because of border closure. If it's available, it is expensive. I can't afford it. Most stock for nutrition and baby formula are almost running out. Many are already depleted. The situation is very catastrophic in terms of nutrition of pregnant women and children. We are now facing a disaster. This disaster will be dire if there is a continuation in the blocking of food supplies. I predict there will be many victims because of food insecurity. Most people now live off food scraps and what they had in stock.
And in Palestine as well, at least 29 children and elderly people have died of starvation in recent days in the Gaza Strip, as revealed by the Minister of Health, Majed Abu Ramadan. Palestinian minister described the words of the United Nations aid chief as very realistic, declaring that more than 14,000 children in the enclave were at risk of starvation. The Israeli regime has permitted limited humanitarian aid deliveries to Gaza. However, officials of the United Nations claim that the aid entering the territory is not enough to meet the needs of the population in the war-torn enclave. Some 90 trucks enter the territory in the afternoon hours, where most of the cargo consisted of flour that was sent to bakeries in Gaza. And Palestinian authorities condemned the recent attacks by Israeli settlers in the occupied West Bank city of Brooklyn. The Palestinian Foreign Ministry stressed that the settlers' crimes are organized and planned in an attempt to displace Palestinians, adding that the attacks are supported by the occupation army. Extremist Israeli settler militias attacked homes and vehicles and assaulted several Palestinian residents in the city of Brooklyn on Thursday. The attack occurred just hours after the Israeli army withdrew from the city following a week-long offensive. And in Greece, hundreds of demonstrators marched to the Israeli embassy in Athens to demand an end to the genocide in the Gaza Strip. Demonstration called by the trade union confederation PAME gathered a multitude of people made up of workers, professionals, artisans, and some legislators of the Greek Communist Party. Those present carried out Palestinian flags and chanted slogans expressing their solidarity with the Palestinian people. At the same time, they demanded a permanent ceasefire and rejected the complicity of the European governments with the Israeli regime.
We are here to condemn the murderous state and government of Israel, which continues with the backs of the European Union, the United States, and the NATO to mercilessly bomb Gaza. So far, they have a purpose. They have killed thousands of people. They have killed 16,000 children. And today, they are depriving the children of Gaza of humanitarian solidarity. There is a genocide going on there for many years, but today it has gone out of limits. Yesterday, I looked at images of small, hungry children. It is clearly genocide. It's not a matter of humanity. It's a genocide of the Israelis against the Palestinian people.
And in other news, in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, the Senate decided to lift the immunity of former President Joseph Kabila, accused of supporting the rebel group M23 in the framework of the conflict affecting the east of the country. After weeks of debates, the decision was reached by the special commission in charge of examining the petition at a plenary session of the Senate on Thursday, where 88 senators voted in favor, 5 against, and 3 abstained. The ruling allows military prosecutors to pursue legal action against the former head of state following accusations by the Ministry of Justice regarding Kabila's criminal responsibility for the massacres committed in the east of the country by the M23 and AFC movements, of which he is a co-founder. For his part, Kabila called the Senate's decision a desperate political act that lacks respect for institutional balance. We now have our first break coming up. Remember, you can join us on TikTok at teleSUR English, where you'll find news in different formats, news updates, and much more. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back. In the United States, the security forces of the Central Intelligence Agency reported a security incident in front of its headquarters in Virginia. CBS News reported that CIA guards shot at a female driver who approached the door and did not stop. The agency stated that the person was already in custody after agents from its team confronted her outside the gates of their residence. Following the incident, the agency added that the main gate of the complex was locked and ordered its employees to seek an alternative route. The woman was shot in the upper body and taken to a medical center. It's believed that her injuries were not life-threatening. The U.S. government granted Harvard University a 72-hour deadline to provide information regarding alleged violent activities and protests if it wishes to recover its foreign enrollment program. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem said the institution will be able to regain its credentials if it complies with a series of requirements that include providing video, images, or audio of protests deemed illegal. Termination of the foreign enrollment program marks an increase in tension between the Republican government and the university, which last April sued the Trump administration over the suspension of federal funding in response to alleged anti-Semitic behavior reported at the school. And the United States House of Representatives gave the green light to a bill on Thursday to cut taxes and increase military and border spending. U.S. President Donald Trump called it the most important bill ever signed in the history of the country. Critics of the text estimate that if passed by the Senate, the bill will disseminate health care and increase the debt. The mega bill adds new rebates, such as exemptions for tips and purchases of domestically manufactured automobiles, along with increased funding for border management and enforcement of the president's tough immigration policy. The bill also includes a remittance tax of 3.5% instead of the initially planned 5%, which will be a blow to migrants' pockets. And a federal judge in Boston blocked President Donald Trump's executive order to dismantle the U.S. Department of Education. The decision issued by Judge Myung-Yoon orders the reinstatement of employees laid off after massive cuts following the measure that sought to transfer powers to the states and which sparked criticism for its impact on public education. Magistrate Myung-Yoon decided to block the measure in response to a lawsuit by Massachusetts school districts and the U.S. Teachers Federation, which would imply a reduction in personnel from 4,133 to 2,183. Meanwhile, in Italy, two key constitutional court rulings were approved that, among other things, will allow LGBTIQ+ mothers to legally recognize their non-biological children. The approval of both rulings puts an end to the legal uncertainty and discrimination of hundreds of families in Italy, especially lesbian mothers who resorted to in vitro fertilization. From the political sphere, the coordinator of the Civil Rights Committee, Alessandra Maiorino, described the ruling as an enormous advance in civil rights in the country and a forceful response to the government's reactionary policies. Also this Thursday, it was announced that the juvenile court of the Italian city of Pesaro approved the adoption of a child born through surrogacy in the United States by a same-sex couple.
È una sentenza storica.
It's a historic ruling. It's a wonderful moment for us. We still can't believe it. My phone has been blowing up with messages since the morning. I was in a meeting. It's an overwhelming joy. It's the first real step to recognition of families with same-sex parents in Italy. Absolutely, the ruling protects the interest of the child because fundamentally it recognizes the child's family identity, no matter what people who are against families with same-sex parents say. Being for or against something does not make it disappear. I might be against a tree, but that tree does not disappear just because I deny its existence. These children still have two moms or two dads or a single LGBTQA+ parent. Not recognizing the other parents does not make them disappear. They will continue to grow with two dads or two moms.
We have a second short break coming up before we invite you to visit our Facebook page at teleSUR English. There you'll be able to watch our top stories, special live coverage, and much more. Follow our page and activate the notification button to stay up to date on the world's most recent events. Final break, and I'll be right back with more. Welcome back. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and the people of Caracas carried out Thursday a massive march to the national government headquarters at the Miraflores Palace to celebrate the closing of the campaign of the Great Simon Bolivar Patriotic Poll Coalition. The mobilization was called by the United Socialist Party of Venezuela in defense of peace and popular sovereignty ahead of the regional and parliamentary elections to be held on May 25th. Thousands of people overflowed the streets of Caracas to reaffirm their commitment with the Bolivarian Revolution and reject any attempt by the far-right groups to disturb the peace of the nation a few days before the elections. And during the march, the Venezuelan president answered questions posed by the press covering the event and referred to the effectiveness of the government operation to prevent any terrorist attempt against the Bolivarian nation.
The Operation Knock Knock is in full swing. A group of new terrorists have been captured, and Diosdado is going to give that information soon. They are international terrorists, and some national terrorists too, who were carrying grenades and explosives. We are dismantling a terrorist offensive that is coming with the complicity of Uribe and Duque from Colombia and Miami. The good news is that the intelligence, patrol and immediate reaction method is working, as well as the popular, military and police fusion.
On the other hand, the president of Venezuela, Nicolás Maduro, reiterated that his government is working to recover the Venezuelan migrants kidnapped in El Salvador and denounced the silence of international organizations when children disappear in the United States or when crimes, such as the genocide against Gaza, are committed.
You can be sure that we are going to rescue them all, the same way we rescued the girl Michaelis Antonella, that pretty girl who is now with her family. She is very beautiful. We are in touch with her. The joy we feel is bigger than our hearts. To have comforted that mother and to have brought her child back to her arms. How many children are kidnapped in the United States? How many children have been taken from their parents? Is that a democracy? Can that be called respect for human rights? And what does Volker Turk say? Where's Volker Turk? Where is he? Where is the International Criminal Court when crimes like the genocide on Gaza are committed? When children disappear in the United States? It is really a world full of injustice where we are doing our best to build a humanist project where real justice exists.
In addition, President Nicolás Maduro highlighted the work of the news multi-platform teleSUR in bringing information to citizens despite the blockade and censorship imposed by Western and hegemonic media.
This multi-platform, teleSUR, which is the only one that breaks the blockade, the censorship, the clamp imposed on us by the networks and the Western media, and which carries the truth of an empowered people, mobilized and ready for a new victory. We are going on Sunday to election number 32, and I am sure, by the strength of our people, that we are going to succeed. We are enjoying the streets. We are from the streets, for the streets, and with the streets. From here we came. Our school is this: the empowered people, the people of the streets. We are the people of the streets, President people. I am here happy to be with the whole team, Jorge, Cilia, Carmen, all united in the streets.
And in Chile, the Midwives College called for a national demonstration this Friday 23rd to reject the new decree issued by the Health Ministry. The Midwives College said Decree 243 reduces the labor field of professionals and threatens the sexual and reproductive health of women. The new decree modifies the criteria for categorizing units in hospital establishments. The association points out that maternity and gynecological emergencies will not be separated from ordinary care. The Guild also condemns the fact that this reform was not previously consulted and therefore calls for the withdrawal of this decree and the creation of a technical roundtable with transparency, seriousness, and protecting women's rights. The Secretariat of Culture of Mexico City held a dialogue to promote the creation of a network of international cultural institutions. Various departments of the Secretariat participated in the meeting, where it was agreed to move forward in the creation of a network that will allow sharing resources and experiences, as well as bringing the cultural wealth of other nations to a diverse public. All of the participants expressed their interest in and commitment to establishment an interinstitutional cultural network that would promote permanent dialogue and the exchange of experiences between international entities and cultural areas and institutions in Mexico City. This initiative seeks to foster and strengthen links between local and foreign cultural agents. Like this, we have come to the end of this news brief. You can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. So join us on social media, Facebook, X, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok. TeleSUR English, I'm Luis Alberto Matos. Thanks for watching.